I'm Jason, UFC, and today we have a story about UFC welterweight, UFC middleweight contender. Khamzat Chimaev claims Colby Covington ran away from him at the UFC Performance Institute. Colby Covington doesn't want to fight. Wow, Khamzat Chimaev may be turning his attention to the middleweight division, but that won't stop him from firing back at the welterweight division, still dropping his name. Prior to UFC 286 on Saturday, Colby Covington spoke to reporters and addressed a potential matchup versus Chimaev after UFC President Dana White said for many months that was the fight the promotion wanted to book, Colby Covington versus Chimaev. Obviously, the fight never came together, and now Colby Covington has been declared the number one contender versus Leon Edwards for the 170-pound welterweight title, while Chimaev is targeted for a return to action in October. Oh my goodness, October of this year in the middleweight division. Colby Covington says Chimaev's a joke. The guy sucks at fighting. Chimaev's unprofessional, and I don't ever want to hear Chimaev's name again. Colby Covington's ire mostly stems for Khamzat Chimaev's last appearance this past September, September 2022, when Chimaev was scheduled to face Nate Diaz in the welterweight division, but ultimately ended up fighting Kevin Holland at a catchweight fight because Chimaev failed to make the welterweight limit, hitting the scales at 178 pounds. 178.5 pounds, 7.5 pounds above the welterweight limit. In the aftermath of the incident, Chimaev is now expected to move up to the middleweight division on a more permanent basis, but he says that's not for a lack of effort on his part to get the fight against Colby Covington after it was offered to him several times. Colby Covington's lying. He doesn't want to fight, Chimaev said on his YouTube. Chimaev has a YouTube channel? I didn't know that. I swear with everything that I have, I swear with God. Oh man, he's taking it to a completely different level. I accept the fight 4 times, and all Muslims understand I swear with the Quran. I get a call 4 times. Do you want to fight? I say yes. I had a conversation with Sean Shelby as well. I can show it that we're going to fight this guy, Colby Covington, and it never happened. There is no more. Colby Covington can lie at press conferences and they make it a show. For me, I can't lie to people. Chimaev, am who I am. They like it and they don't like it. I am who I am. That guy, Colby Covington, plays too much. According to Khamzat Chimaev, Chimaev actually had an encounter with Colby Covington where both fighters were working out at the UFC Performance Institute here in Las Vegas. While there was no major confrontation, fight, Chimaev claims, okay, this is crazy, they locked eyes for a moment, but I think they translated that wrong. But then Colby Covington allegedly turned around and left before anything could be said. When I see him at the UFC Performance Institute, I see him, he sees me, he turns around. He ran somewhere. I didn't see him anymore. If Colby Covington wants to fight, just come up to me. Come up like me. Try to come up. Everyone's talking about it. Colby Covington doesn't want to fight. I fight with everybody. Chimaev. It appears Chimaev is turning his focus to the middleweight division for the time being, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't jump at the chance to face Colby Covington if the opportunity presented itself. Chimaev believes if Colby Covington really wanted to fight him, they could have agree on a weight class and make it happen, but Chimaev is doubtful that bit of fantasy matchmaking will ever become reality. If Colby Covington wants to fight, Chimaev said, for me, weight class doesn't matter. If somebody wants the fight, if the UFC calls me to fight Brock Lesnar, I'll fight him. For me, it doesn't matter. Fight everybody, whichever weight class the UFC wants, I'll fight. I never choose my fights. These chickens, they lie so much. So many guys speak on the internet. I want to fight Hamzat, but why am I standing here with no fights for half a year or more now? That question, that's the quote we're going to come back to. Chimaev still hasn't booked his next fight, although White seems confident that Chimaev would compete again in October with the upcoming UFC 294 card planned for Dubai on October 21st. Wow. So I'm really not gonna spend too much time at I just because I don't want to go into, this is a he said, she said. I'm pretty sure if you ask Colby Covington, when he saw Chimaev saw his eyes, and I'm pretty sure Chimaev turned around and ran away. So I'm not going to go into who saw who and who ran away. Who knows? Nothing happened, so that story doesn't mean anything to me. But this quote right here is the one that I really, really, really want to get into and question the most. These chickens, they lie so much. So many guys speak on the internet. I want to fight Hamzat, but why am I standing here with no fights for half a year or more now? That is the question. That really is a very, very good question. It does seem extremely odd with Chimaev having when did he last fight? Last September, right? Versus Kevin Holland in a catchweight fight. So I don't know why. I have no idea why UFC hasn't made the fight in the welterweight between Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington. I don't know why they didn't make the fight with Khamzat Chimaev and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Why they haven't made a fight with not Colby Covington, Khamzat Chimaev versus Bilal Muhammad. That's three names in the welterweight division that could have easily been made between September of last year and today. So I have no idea why. I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you ask the UFC, they're not gonna give you an answer as to why Chimaev hasn't fought. If you ask Chimaev, he's gonna say, well, he said yes to all the fighters the UFC offered him. The other fighters said no. I'm pretty sure if you ask other fighters, they'll say, yeah, the UFC never offered me Chimaev or anything like that. I'd fight Chimaev. And he's right. A lot of people do go on the internet and say, hey, I'll fight Chimaev. I want to fight Chimaev. But the person to me who really, really was about that life was Neil Magny. To me, he was the only person who I, genuinely believe really wanted to fight Chimaev. Everybody else, nothing against them, but, I remember, Neil Magny calling out Chimaev when he wasn't ranked number 3 in the welterweight. A lot of people before Chimaev became ranked number 3, they were saying, well, he's not ranked. What am I going to gain from finding an unranked fighter, which is a terrible idea in the UFC. But now Chimaev is ranked number 3. A lot of people go on the internet and say, hey, I want to fight him, but no one has signed a contract to fight Chimaev. So, I cannot give you a reason as to why Chimaev has not fought since last September, right? I'm not of the line that fighters are literally afraid to fight him. I don't believe that at all. I don't know. The answer, the only one who really knows the answer, truthfully, is the UFC, right? So the question doesn't go to Chimaev. The question doesn't really go to other fighters. The question goes to the UFC as to why, you have this fighter who has been jumping between the welterweight and the middleweight. A lot of contenders there. A lot of fighters don't have fights. Robert Whitaker doesn't have a fight. Paulo Costa doesn't have a fight. Bilal Muhammad doesn't have a fight. Colby Covington didn't have a fight. There's a lot of people in 2 different divisions that Chimaev could have been scheduled to fight between September of last year and today. And for some unknown reason, still, we have no word on who Chimaev is fighting next. We truthfully don't know if it's in the middleweight division or the welterweight division. Before UFC 286, the UFC was pushing. I heard a lot of, hey, Chimaev is going to fight Colby Covington next in the welterweight. And now all of a sudden, after 286, It's all, oh, Chimaev is fighting in the middleweight division. So truthfully, I have no idea if Chimaev's next fight is in the middleweight division or in the welterweight division. I have no idea, and I have no idea who it's going to be against. You know, if it was up to me, Chimaev would be fighting Bilal Muhammad. If we're going to talk about the middleweight division, next fights would be versus Bilal Muhammad, Wonderboy Thompson, Colby Covington, or Shakov Rachmanov. That's 4 fighters who easily, right now, you can make the fight. Right now. And if he went to the middleweight, you know, I can give you 4 fighters. You could say Jared Cannonier. You would say Dracus Duplessis. You would say Paulo Costa. You could say Robert Whitaker. I don't really like the Robert Whitaker fight too much. But Sean Strickland, you know, I'm an MMA casual. And I can name 5 fighters from each division that Chimaev could literally be fighting, scheduled, you know, to fight, you know, starting today, right? So it's up to the UFC, it's up to Chimaev, and it's up to the UFC fighters. But let me know your opinion of this story. It's very disappointing that we haven't seen Chimaev scheduled for a fight since last September. But I'm Jason, UFC, and today we had a story about Khamzat Chimaev claims Colby Covington ran away from him at the UFC Performance Institute. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.